ready for the fight? From the court to the field, they shine so bold. With every move, the stories unfold. We're cheering on the youth from the start to the win. Giving them the mic, let their voices begin. Interviews and highlights, we got it all. GN Sports Show, where the young stand tall. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show.
Hey, and welcome to the GNF Sports Show. It's the Christmas season and we all here Christmased up. Again, I have my lovely co-host, Patrice Jacobs, who is also the media and production representative from Calvin Ayre. I am Jason Cordis, president of the GNFC Parent Group Association. And Patrice, tell them what we have today this week, man.
We have a packed lineup for you guys tonight, a star-studded lineup. You're not going to want to miss this one. Who do we have coming on?
We have some kids from grammar school football. We have some Generation Next superstars from the under 9. We have, obviously, Duran Mead together with our famous, physio segment. And we have somebody. Santa pulled somebody out of the bag. Who we have? Who Santa pulled out the bag?
We have the legendary. The legendary.
Sir
Vivian
Richards.
You can't miss this one.
Can't miss this one. And together we also have a representative from Harbury College in England. So you don't want to miss this. Put on your hat, get your milk, get your hot chocolate, sit down, GNFC Sports Show, right back.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And as mentioned, top tier guest this week, and we have the under 9 representatives from the GNFC Rebels. We have Milan Prince and we have Micah Frederick. Micah, Milan, welcome to the GN Sports Show. All you happy to be here?
Yes.
All you had teammates who were here before, you all are here, part of the 8th episode. So you're lucky. All right. So we want to find out some things about you and Milan. Mm-hmm. All right, we want to find out certain things about football. Milan, who got you into football? What made you decide I want to be a footballer?
I like to play football in my garden. I used to play football in my garden. Then my mom said I should join football, so that's why I came here.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. And what about you, Michael? Who got you into football, or what made you start wanting to play football?
I have 2 cousins named Joshua and Jordan. Mm-hmm. They play football a lot, and then they got me into football.
Oh, very nice. Cheers to cousins, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what school do you go to, Michael?
St. John's Lutheran School.
Okay, and what grade are you in?
Grade 3-1.
Grade 3-1.
What about you, Milan? What school do you go to?
I go to St. John's Lutheran School.
Oh, same school?
Wow.
What grade you in?
3-2.
Oh, look at that.
It's a competition, 3-1 and 3-2. So when I go to school, they'll be like, hey, watch me on TV next Wednesday,
Yeah.
I'm representing 3-1. And then you'll be like, I'm representing 3-2. So you all have a favorite footballer? Anybody? Professional footballer or, local footballer? Anybody? Who's your favorite footballer?
Messi.
Oh.
What about you, Micah?
Neymar.
Milan, sorry. Neymar is your favorite?
Okay.
Very nice.
That's good. What's your favorite team?
Generation Next Football Club.
I like that answer.
You're going to have to start the next match. The next match is starting for sure. What about you, Milan?
Generation.
Oh gosh, two of them gotta start. You gotta make sure 4 of them start.
So are you guys friends in school?
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Do you have a favorite teacher at school, Milan?
Yes, Miss Tiger.
Miss Tiger.
What about you?
Miss Bascus.
Miss Bascus. What does Miss Bascus teach?
Yeah.
All the subjects except arts, library, and PE.
And mine as well.
Oh, all the
She does
subjects
the
as
same?
well? Oh,
But
okay.
except for computer, art, and PE.
And
Computer,
PE.
arts and
And
PE.
computer.
So let me ask you something. What do you want to be when you grow up? When you get a big person, a old person like me, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher, a police, and a football player.
Oh Lord, that's
you have a lot of options,
things.
boy. You
But
got
then what
plenty
about
money
you?
coming in.
A Sunday league football player.
Oy.
Huh?
Sunday league football player.
What?
Professionally, I like
That's
that.
very, very good. But you all know, if whatever you all want to be when you all grow up, the work starts now, right?
Yes.
You have to make sure and follow your school. Make sure do all your homework. Focus in school, because this is where you start to
Yep.
get what it is you want to get when you're finished. All right. So it's good to see you guys, and I think tomorrow you all have a big match going on. Or no, next
Oh.
Saturday you all have a big match going on. So hope to see you all out there. All right. So thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Good to meet you.
Milan. What? Nice to meet you guys. So see you all on the next time. All right. So guys, we're gonna take a break. See you guys soon.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next: Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Kenneth A. Gomez Insurance Agency, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And as we say again, we have Coach Gabriel Graham. Everybody know him as Coach Skinny, all right? Nobody don't know the Christian name of Gabriel Graham. Coach Skinny,
Jason.
welcome to the GN Sports Show, man. I see you doing a lot of stuff with the kids in the Gen X Rebels. Let me know. Tell us something about your coaching style, man.
About the coaching style? Basic. Just listen to the coach. Not anything go bad is my fault. Right? Makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
So how long have you been coaching the under 9 group though?
The on the 9 group. Maybe about 4 or 5 years.
Wow, that's a good while.
Yeah.
That's a good
With
time.
Generation X, I think it was 2014 September.
Overall.
So it's like what? That's like 10 years now.
A good 10
Wow.
years. That's a solid career, man.
Yeah. Have you been coaching before Generation X?
No. No.
But you've always been in the sport.
Played football,
right.
travel a bit, all of that, you know. Yeah.
What's your football resume? People want to know what's
Resume?
Skinny football resume. Where you start to where you reach now.
Yeah.
Start about when I was, to be honest, in a camp when I was like 14. That's old to me because kids start when they 4 or 5,
Right.
and, you know.
Right.
And during that span until now, a bit of traveling. Went to England, played some football. Went to America, played all the division in Antigua, Premier, first, second. You know, score goal in all the division in Antigua.
Right.
Premier, first, second. You know, I mean, just basic to me.
Well, I hear that you also coaching one of the boys' football team for St. Anthony's.
Yeah, this is we're doing good. Last time I coached him, no, but now, and they listen. That's just the same thing. Come back, they listen. So I mean, you know, we win, we lose the I would say the toughest game on them, but you know, win some good amount of game. We are doing real good. To me, they are happy. You know, I can talk to them like brothers, like
Right.
you know, like they're my son type
Right,
thing.
right.
You know, listening is our biggest problem. If I can, they're two my aunt and I. If I call them right now, ask them what's our biggest problem, they're gonna shout out listening.
Wow. Because I had a question for you. I was going to ask you, you know, what has been your most challenging thing, or what has been the biggest challenge for you coaching that group, that under 9 group? Because we know they're rowdy.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
tend to not be able to keep still, but now I'm
Yeah.
kind of guessing it might just be.
I mean, my biggest challenge. Back
Back to
listening.
Back to listening.
But I mean, they listen now. But it's like we know kids' attention span is very
right,
short.
right,
so
right.
I mean, they listen, but for how long?
Right.
And then, I mean, disciplinary come into play. Whereas, like, if I say, everybody come in, don't kick the ball. Everybody will come in, and in the next 10 seconds, boom, a ball hit somebody in the head. And then, then maybe it just depends on how I discipline them.
Yeah.
Maybe run a lap. By the time they run a lap around the big field, nobody else want to run laps, so then everybody going to listen.
Okay.
You understand me? So, I mean, it's like that.
Do you think
Right.
now and under 9s, do you think that the under 9s have gotten that?
Sometimes they get like that, but sometimes, like it's not with the on the 9, on the 7, sometimes on the 11, it's not going to come out to them easy like that. They're kids.
Yeah.
We have to remember at the end of the day, they are kids. You understand me? It's like they say, this doesn't really have nothing to do with that, but you can lead cattle to the well,
to the
but you
trough,
can
yeah.
force
Can't
it
let them
something.
drink.
I mean, and kids, they're on the 9, so I mean, you can talk to them, whatever you tell them, but they will listen for the most part. But I mean,
It's about having fun.
yeah, it's about having fun at the end of the day. So I
Right.
mean,
And I suppose putting in the right measures to try to keep their attention
Yeah.
when you have it.
yeah. So I mean, you can't like being a coach, you can't do, I would say, boring drills, because they're kids. They're gonna get bored. They're gonna
Lose their
I'm
attention.
gonna be digging Jason in his neck, and then
Yeah.
coach, So I mean, you gotta do things whereas it looks exciting. So then they can't wait to go,
Yep.
and I'm gonna behave because I don't want to run lap and miss my turn. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's like that.
Where are we gonna see Skinny
Uh-huh.
in the future? What is the next path for Skinny in the future?
You're gonna see me on the road.
Yeah.
You're gonna pass me.
I can pass you,
But
yeah.
okay. In the future, for me, I want something to do with football. Like, it's the love of the game. You understand me? And I love the game. You don't want to leave it somehow. I mean, So, hopefully Generation X will continue.
So do you have anything that you want to leave as a legacy?
I guess if you ask the kids, like, how to put it, who started coaching you? Hopefully they say, I used to get coached from Coach Skinny. And then, like, everybody, for the most part, majority of the people in Antigua know Skinny, you understand
Yeah.
me? So, I mean, hopefully that they can say, I Coach Skinny taught me this. Coach
Yeah, it's like you
'cause
say, you set the
to be honest,
foundation.
there's a lot of players here where they used to kick with their toe, literally. Everything toe,
Oh, yeah, my
pass
son
toe,
always does
toe
that.
punch, and then when you come one time, you do that around me in my age group. Every time you kick with your toe, maybe you run a lap.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then you want to continue kick with your toe? No.
Yeah.
Even I tell him it's okay to mess up. I'm going to be mad if you don't try. But
Yeah. Yep.
you understand me? If you don't try, but if you try, I mean, you understand me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just majority of it. Back to this listening, like, try.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Try. It's okay to mess up. You mess up at training, but then eventually,
They
if you
catch
continue mess up,
themselves.
you're gonna get it. Yeah, you understand
And the
me?
truth is, I can speak to Skinny setting the foundation because I have a young son who has trained with you a few times, and I remember he was around 5 when I had him start. He had
Yeah,
just turned
yeah,
5, and I took
about
him
5.
to Generation Next. And it's every parent's dream.
Yep.
You want your child to just be the best, and you feel like, yes, my child probably have a certain talent. And I took him, and everybody's playing, and he running down the other end of the field, the opposite direction. And I was starting to get so infuriated, like, child, where you going?
Yeah.
And Skinny said to me, leave him.
Yeah.
Just leave
Leave
him.
him.
He said, as a matter of fact, come off the field.
Yeah, I did. No, I did.
He told me straight up. He said, don't come back. He said, go and don't come back.
And that's
Like,
majority of the parents and them. From time they come and the kid is like too attached to the parent, tell them, hey, mommy, daddy, I have to go now.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna say, no, you have to leave. No, you have to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You understand me?
We need to let go.
Yeah,
of
you
things.
have to stay
Yeah.
out because then, like, a kid would be there and not with on the 9, with on the 7. They would be crying. I said, mommy, go. One time, the mommy go 5 minutes.
This
They
stuff.
stop.
They stop.
Because they feel
And-
the dependency is still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel it's a lesson to parents.
and sorry
young
not to
kids.
cut
No,
you.
that's
Sometimes it's like from time they do something, they look over.
Yes.
If they do
all
bad,
the
you
time.
understand?
It's
No.
true. It is
Mommy,
very
daddy
true.
have to go, you understand? Like, when they're with the coaches,
That's
they
the point I was
become
gonna
our
make.
child now, you
Yes.
understand?
You
So
have
then,
to trust the coach's parents.
Yeah,
you have
to.
Absolutely.
But Skinny, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of the GN
Yeah, we
show.
look forward to having you again very
Yes,
soon.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
anytime.
Don't be a
Thanks a lot,
stranger.
Skin.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank
Guys, we'll be right back with more GN Sports Show.
In this segment of the show, we speak with Leah Burridge, the women's football and futsal manager at Hartpury University and Hartpury College.
Leah Burridge, Hartpury College and University Women's Football and Futsal Manager.
Leah, how has the women's football program at Hartpury evolved under your leadership, and what are your main goals for its future development?
I've stepped into the role for the last 3 years. I feel like the program has massively evolved. Having the experience, knowledge and understanding of myself playing at a high level, currently still playing as well, it's great that I can drive the standards, drive the intensity, and ultimately, give that information to the players of what it takes to be a professional athlete or what it takes for them to reach their full potential. Main aims and target is to win national competitions across the college and university program, but also to hopefully get a women's FC team in the future alongside our men's program.
What steps are you taking to ensure that female athletes at Hartpury have access to the same level of resources, coaching, and support as their male counterparts?
All of our female athletes get the exact same division as a male student. They have access to full-time commitments in terms of their academic program, and also a training schedule where they'll have technical pitch sessions throughout the week, whether that's 2 or 3 sessions, and also opportunities to link up with our multidisciplinary support service team, which includes psychological support, nutrition, well-being, and all of those things that help reach players their next potential, help develop them. And yeah, it's great that we've got that dual career pathway to help support players. They're getting a degree, but also training as close as it gets to being a full-time athlete.
How do you work with student athletes to balance the demands of academic studies with the commitment required for elite football training?
On the program, they're a dual career student athlete. So the student comes before the athlete, where we ensure that the academic programs, the academic courses, they're spot on with it. They're ahead of their academics. They're reaching the grades and the criteria that's needed. And the incentive of being a part of a elite football academy is that incentive of also competing, for striving to be the best they can be, and ultimately they're getting a degree out of also being a part of a as close as it gets that professional football program.
What pathways and opportunities does Hartpury offer to female footballers aspiring to play professionally or pursue careers in the sports industry?
We've got a college program leading into our university program, where all of our teams are competing at the highest level through college football, competing in the England Colleges League, and our Bucks Uni team competing in the Bucks Premier League. So again, everyone competing at that highest level. So students that are being a part of our program are competing with the very best in the country. We'll strive to go and win the national competitions and be the very best. We'll also do our best to help support players with England college trials, England university opportunities. I've created close club contacts and links with teams in the local area, teams that range from tier 3 down to tier 5 to help support all players and all abilities across, whether that's in the local community or a little bit further away, just to help support players, but ultimately to develop them where they need to be stretched and challenged, or whether they're at a level where they're happy with, that works with their Hartpury College university commitments as well.
With the rapid growth of women's football globally, how do you ensure that Hartpury remains at the forefront of developing top talent and providing a competitive edge for your athletes?
So I think one of the main important things is that here at Hartpury, whether you're a college student or university, you are going to be part of a program that is as close as it gets to being a professional football club. The bonus side of that is being that dual student, where you'll get your access to your academic program as well, but you're training pretty much full time, whether that's on pitch, in the classroom, but you're also getting that opportunity to do your academics, to strive to be the best. And ultimately, I want to be picking up players now who are in academies, who are, wanting to be reaching their full potential, wanting to become professional footballers in the future. And we've got a range of programs where we can help support any player. But what I'm looking at now is more for those players who do strive to be a professional footballer, players who maybe want to do a bit of extra, do the extra sessions, put the extra hard work in just to make a difference. And having the mentality of that in players really shines through and shows and ultimately gives us the achievements that we want as a college and university program.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. Right now we have for this segment on set with us two very handsome and talented young men of the Antigua Grammar School. We have Mr. Tafari Parker and Mr. Aiden Isaac. We also have on set with us Mr. Rowan Isaac, who's here tonight both as a parent and a coach.
So welcome, guys. Welcome to the GN Sports Show. And I know, we have a lot of testosterone here. The table is full with men, and amongst the beauty of Miss Jacobs. So you guys play for grammar school, all right? What made you get into football?
Well, the main reason I got into football was because my father, since he was a past player of the national team.
Oh, so you wanna pass him now?
Yeah.
Right?
I wanted to pass him.
Oh, very nice.
Hey, Daddy gotta watch that.
Right? What about you, Tafari? What got you into football, or who?
Both of my parents played football internationally.
Oh, very
Wow.
nice. Very nice.
I just get the chin and follow them in their footsteps. So.
And
I
are
can
you
become-
hoping to surpass them at some stage?
Well, I am better than them.
Ooh.
What? So what do you guys go to grammar school? Do you guys have a favorite subject? What was your favorite subject?
Mathematics.
What? We had
And a lot of
mathematics
that.
early in the game.
Yes.
Come now, we have mathematics now. What about you, Tafari?
Physical education.
Physical
Okay.
education, man.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Mr. Jacobs.
And what about you, Tafari?
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown.
So let me ask you something. What you have a favorite football player, and it could be local, it could be international.
I was planning to say that, but no, I didn't say that, no. Probably Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Messi.
The usual.
What
yeah.
about you?
My brother,
Your brother.
Your brother.
Oh, what's his name?
Zaire Scott.
Zaire Scott. Oh, that's nice.
That's good. It's good that your brother is your. So
Right,
he's like your
role model.
idol. He's like who you want to emulate as well. Oh.
Very impressive. So you have big shoes to fill, Tafari. Very big shoes. But I feel like you're gonna get there. I'm
So
not
you
worried
have-
about you.
Do you have hopes to play for the nationals?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, a little birdie told us that you served as the vice captain in the National School League, scoring a whole 10 goals. That's very, very impressive. Tell us about that. How was your experience representing Antigua Grammar School in that way?
It was very nice. I just went out, show my colors, and score the goals, and give assists, and give them some things in the game.
Spoken like a true champion, right, Jason?
Yep. So how does it feel playing, for grammar school and national school league and stuff?
Feels nice. That's all, yeah. Just feels nice.
You walk around the halls like, yeah, we are match
Yeah,
today.
like I'm
yeah,
the
we
star.
won yesterday. Right? That's how you feel?
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. Playing football, how often you play football? First of all, how often you play or practice?
Every week.
Every week? How many times a week?
2.
2 times a
days,
week?
okay.
How do you balance work? How do you balance your school work with practicing and training and playing football, wanting to be a footballer and wanting to be a good student and so forth?
Well, I just try to make as much time to fit in my schoolwork as possible, and then the rest of the time I use to play football.
Well, very good.
Very nice.
Very good. Very good balance. What about you, Tavarai?
I give it time management about the work. You do like your work first, and then your football comes after.
Okay. I like
That's
that. That's
good, yeah.
always a very, very good way to get it done, because like we've said, even in our episode last week, football is a lot. Sports in general, it's fun and it's enjoyable, and a lot of people are passionate about it, but the academics have to definitely be up there. So to Tafari, tell me, what position do you play on the field, and what would you say you enjoy most about that particular role that you play?
I play midfield or strike. I love to play strike because I love to score the goals and get assists, and yeah.
Okay, nice.
What about you?
I play midfield.
Just midfield.
Just midfield?
Yeah.
You don't like to score the goals?
No, I like to give people the pass.
So for both of you, and this is a question for both of you, when you think about moving ahead, your future, what would you say are your dreams or your aspirations? I mean, we know you're young now. You have some growing to do. But we know, you're in school, you're playing for the school league. Both of you also play for other teams. You play for Old Road, you play for Pigots, right? So you have a little time to come up and do bigger things. Like, what are some of your dreams moving forward?
Can Parker start?
Yeah, sure, Mr. Parker. Take it away.
I want to become an international and
Football player?
yeah, and
Very nice. And for you?
I would like to become a national team player.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work out, I'll just find a different option.
Okay.
Is there
exactly.
anything that you think that interests you?
Probably an architect.
Architect?
Oh, I
Very
like that.
good. How old are you?
13.
13. What advice you as a 13-year-old would give to an under 9er or under 7 player to kind of motivate them and encourage them to be their best and stuff like that for football?
Just keep practicing
Keep practicing.
and make time for schoolwork.
Ooh, I like that. Safari, any words of wisdom?
You have to have time for schoolwork and have time for practice and games, and you have to just put all your support into your team and the game, and you have to know the ball knowledge and all those things.
Very nice.
So thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for the information, for your word of confidence and stuff, and for the younger generation. But right now, let's turn to Rowan Isaacs. Welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Who is Rowan Isaac?
Yes.
Rowan 35, that's my nickname, Isaac.
Rowan 35 Isaacs.
Yeah. And I think most people in the football community would know that nickname.
Where did the nickname come from?
The Shipwreck League. Shipwreck. We had a team. I'm from All Saints.
Right.
And we had a team from All Saints, and all the uniforms were already distributed. And our colors were yellow. And my mom had a yellow shirt with the 555 on there. So that was the only thing. And I went down with it and Shipwreck just say, hey, 35.
35.
And that was it.
So that was the name.
And I remember in the early years, my mother used to say, no answer them. But now, she's more
She's more proactive with the 35.
She might have felt like she was a big part of your journey.
Yeah,
she is.
Awesome. But tell us a little about that. I mean, growing up in All Saints, how did that shape your passion for football?
Well, I could say All Saints community is a very tight-knit community.
Right.
And I didn't live too far from the field. So I live maybe about 100 yards away from the field. So
Wow.
I used to go back and forth. And sometimes when I go missing,
Yes.
and I hear my mother's voice, in about couple minutes, I'm back down in the
You're back
house.
home.
Yes. And as soon as she gone, I'm
You're back
on
out.
the field. Yeah.
Well, you've played with a lot of teams, Ron. You played with Takas, English Harbour, FC Aston Villa, and Barca. What club left the most significant impact on you, and why?
Attackers. That was my first club, and that was a club that I, brought up in terms of Attackers Junior, all the way up to to the senior level.
So it kind of molded you, and
then I branch off, and then I can say the next step was Villa. But
Villa,
prior to going to Villa, I was at English Harbour. But that is after I came back from a scholarship. I went to Villa Soccer Academy. That's where I got my scholarship from.
Oh,
so
very
I'm
nice.
wow.
Very nice.
Yes.
Was that your time at John Brown University?
That was my time at actually Villa scholarship took me to Oklahoma Wesleyan.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma Wesleyan, and I played there a year with Gary Gonzalez. Yes, and then John Brown was another university in Arkansas, and
Right.
they came for a visit. And John Brown had the likes of Epilos, Conrad White at that time, and Glasgow Richards,
Right.
and Schiffer.
Okay,
Brown,
okay.
and, yeah. So after they saw me playing against them, a little birdie said, "Would you like to come over?" And I made a transition
Scouted.
over to John Brown University.
Very nice. Really, really nice. And in terms of your time as a national player for Antigua, like what were some of the most memorable moments? And I know you have little Mr. Isaac here sitting and listening. So do share with us, like what are some of your most memorable moments?
Tour of England and also tour of Brazil.
Wow.
And even went and played in Guatemala. But the tour in Brazil was a different level. You know, you see how professional they are in terms of their organization, the academy, and all the practice facilities.
Yes.
And how you should conduct your practice. We felt like professionals.
I can imagine.
Yeah, the boots were already there, your kits were already prepared. So when it's practices, it's going to change.
And I feel like that has come out a lot, you know, when we talk to whether former players or former coaches or coaches sometimes who are former players, a lot of what comes out a lot is how important that exposure is.
Yeah.
Being able to travel and see how it's done in other places and then be able to, you know, perfect your craft and bring that knowledge back. Because, you know, Jason, I remember when we had Joshua,
right,
we were talking about at his age having gone off to the UK to
tryouts,
right,
and
the trials, right, and he spoke about just how different the game was, how much more organized and technical. Not to take anything away from our home teams, but I do believe that is very important, especially for young men like Tafari and little Mr. Isaac coming up, to see that there is the ability to be able to travel and to be exposed, you know, not just here in Antigua or in the region, but outside as well.
I don't know if everyone else knows Rowan and what he's done, but Rowan was also the head coach of Antigua girls. Your tactics, what would the approach to getting these girls, you know, getting the best out of them and stuff like that? And what do you think that could be used to help progress women's football in Antigua?
Well, I know for one, if you get the girls to trust what you're doing, the sky's the limit for them. And what I'm not seeing a lot is the continuity, you know, just keep training and all that stuff, because I can tell you, the female footballers get demotivated easily. Right? With not being practicing constantly and so forth, they find time to do a lot of other stuff. So if we keep them in a system where they can be constant training and so forth, I think we'll see a lot of success in that regard.
Definitely, and I do believe, I mean, clearly I'm a little bit biased toward this one, you know, I'm female. And for a sport that is so male dominated, I can't imagine how the motivation could be less in the women's team or in females generally. So I do hope that a lot more will be done, like you said, to just kind of maintain that kind of consistent training and, you know, pouring in of resources to kind of help the women's team to build up a bit.
Because if you realize FIFA is putting a lot of investment in the women's side of the sport. Right. You know, and that's one aspect. If we in Antigua can continue that pattern, they have more regular competition for the females and so forth. You'll see.
And support too. You know, let's support these games, because a lot of times, you know, you and I know, you can't drive on Factory Road when it's a male team.
But when it's a female, you don't even know something going on.
You have to encourage them. Sometimes you don't hear about it anywhere, and that's something I feel like we need to do a lot more, not just for female sports, but for sports in general in Antigua too. The marketing has to be a lot more. You know, sometimes you show up to somewhere like Yasco for a track meet and there's no one there, the stands are empty. So I feel like we definitely can do a better job of spreading the word.
We need to show support.
Absolutely.
We know leadership is key, right? How has being a footballer and an athlete help you to, you know, to have this leadership quality in your career now?
I can say being in a sport and in general, right, give you that sort of teamwork aspect of it, and also communication aspect of it also, and then you embody all that in your profession. You know to deal with your co-workers, you know to deal with management.
But you know, and I'll take away from that and piggyback off of that a bit, because what I found very interesting is that Rowan transitioned from sports to insurance. Tell us about that.
Actually, I studied accounting. And my internship was done when I came back. My internship was done at an insurance company.
Wow, very nice.
I had that in me, and when I finished school, I went back to visit, and then the gentleman asked me, when are you coming to work?
Wow.
And I told her, in the new year. And then from that, I just galvanized in that.
So wow, I like that.
Because when I was in college, I got an opportunity to go on a tryout.
Okay.
But in that time, and I'm going to tell you how long ago was that. In that time, different from now, where you have sponsors. Somebody will sponsor you, travel and all that stuff and so forth. And at that time, I only maybe had 200 US in my pocket. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So, I just transitioned back.
Right. And I'm sure you would have been able to carry over some of those same traits you mentioned, the teamwork and leadership.
Team building.
Yes, for sure.
So,
nice.
looking ahead, do you have any aspirations for your future of getting back into that zone of either playing or coaching or anything like that with the football?
I still do a little bit of playing. I play a little business league and sometimes I do a little run up and down. But I most definitely, there's a lot of more help need to develop the sport in Antigua. So in any aspect, as anybody will know me, in any aspect, I'm willing to put my foot forward and assist it.
Is what we need to have here, and you hear it from Rowan, all of his experience coming up. You hear it from the youths, who have been starting to learn that from such a young age. So, you know what I mean? We just need to be focused. We need to fight it. We need to go after our passions. Thank you guys so much for being here, Rowan. It's been such a pleasure having you. And you know what I mean? I know we're going to see you guys later on. We're going to bring you guys back when you're on nationals.
And if I may say something also is the support. We need to support.
That is key.
The young ones in their endeavors, and especially the sports arena here. Because when I was in university, I was so amazed to see on weekends the amount of parents come out and camp. And I think that when I was growing up playing, I would never get that support. So now the trend is leading towards that stuff. That's why you will see me every weekend and every tournament. I come out there. I'm a parent. I'm supported.
But thank you guys for being a part of the GN Sports Show. Rowan, you just touched on something to give us a next episode that we have to work on.
Yes, we'll
Kids,
have to talk
support,
about that.
and family. Thank you guys for being here. GN Sports Show. We'll be back.
We will now hear from Chris Knowles, Senior Football Manager at Hartbury College.
My name's Chris Knowles and I'm the Head of Football at Hartbury College and University. So it's dependent on whether you're in the college or the university, but our whole ethos is that dual career. So it combines the academic commitment alongside the training. So if you're in our senior program, which is the university and our first team, you'll be starting early morning on a Monday, S&C, on-pitch training, followed by lectures throughout the day. If you're in our college program, which is under 19s, you'll have lectures in the morning from 9:30 onwards, and then in the afternoon you'll have S&C and training. Tuesday is followed with analysis and a light training session, potentially in the morning, followed by lectures throughout the day. If you're in the college program, you'll have a Tuesday afternoon, which is also light training and analysis. Some players are then involved in Tuesday evening games, depending on what squad you're involved in. Wednesday is predominantly sports day, so that's when both our college teams and university teams will play fixtures home and away. Thursday is predominantly academic, so we have lectures all day, depending again on what course you're on, and whether you're college or university. And then Friday is a copy of Monday as well. So you have the early morning session for the seniors, followed by lectures, whereas the college will have lectures, followed by training and gym. Weekend, you'll have fixtures for your external clubs and our Saturday first team. And then throughout the period, you'll have one-to-ones with tutorials from both academics and lifestyle managers, psych, and nutrition. So when you come to Hartbury, you're coming here for both the academics and you're coming here to perform as a student athlete. With this in mind, if you're not performing academically, this sporting provision will be taken away. So this is ensuring that you're attending regularly, you're completing all your assignments and your exams, and you're working closely with your tutors to maximise your opportunity in the classroom. Then this will lead on to great time on the field, both training and match time on a weekly basis. So when you first come into Hartbury, whether that's in the college or university, you'll go through a trial period. Through that trial period, you then be allocated into squads, but there's competition for places, so there's no guarantee of game time. Once you're within the squads, the opportunity to progress is there. We've had many players progress from our fourth team all the way through to our first team, and then beyond that into our senior teams, and beyond that into professional clubs. Because we're a well-renowned football programme here in the UK, we do get scouts coming from a number of different professional clubs at all different levels. This has been shown through our 40 plus contracts for players. This is here in England, over in America, in Europe. The opportunity is there if you're doing the right things on and off the pitch. And our whole premise and our whole focus as a programme is to ultimately provide these opportunities and pathways for players to progress, whilst also competing regularly in the college and university and the National League system. So we pride ourselves on giving all student athletes the opportunity to progress, whether that's through our programme and beyond. So whether you join us and you start in the fourth team, or whether you join us and start in the first team, that opportunity to be seen by coaches, both internal and external, and also our wider support staff is there. This will be through training, this is through games, we'll have scouts come to fixtures. You'll also have access to Huddle, which will film all your games and they'll be uploaded, so you can create highlights reel, which you can then send off to clubs. The opportunity for exposure is really high, but it's up to you to perform on a weekly and daily basis within training and games, so you can maximise that opportunity.
And we're back to the GN Sports Show. Thank you guys for sticking with us. And as mentioned in the lineup of all the greats we have coming on the show, today we have, as mentioned, the legend, the icon, Mr. Cricket himself, Sir Viv Richards.
And in some areas, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Viv, thank you so much for being here. Look, you have goosebumps coming up on me. I grew up looking and cheering you on. My father and everybody keep doing it, and we fall into that, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Great to be here.
Let me ask you, Viv, growing up in Antigua, right? How did your early experiences and family influence your love for cricket? You know what I mean? And how did that role, with your brothers play in shaping your career as a cricketer?
Growing up in a home with your father, who represented the island of cricket. Your elder brother also did so. And having a brother, Mervyn, who likes to play around, and he was a footballer himself, and I grew up in an environment of sports. And when you have a father who would have represented the country, certainly that's going to be inspiring.
Wow.
Certainly. And then my elder brother went on to do the same. So you can see why.
Yeah, so you had to be like, nobody needed me behind.
You can see why.
And what you said there, it resonates to what we've been saying throughout the show today, is that, we need parental guidance, we need parental, vision there. Because as kids, we look forward to what, we want to do what we emulate. We want to emulate what our parents do. And when we encourage the kids to do better, that's a lot of times that is the definitive factor.
You could say that it's a positive sign, because the first question, you're fiddling with your father's bat, and sometimes the bat is a little taller than you are.
Yeah.
And little things like that, you're putting the shirts on, but having a family around that's basically inspiring in terms of the things that you as a kid would like to do, good positive vibes. I think I was pretty fortunate to be in that environment.
So let me ask you kind of a controversial one now. So when you were 17, you were suspended in a controversial match against St. Kitts.
You did your research?
How did that experience shape your outlook on handling pressure and adversity?
It's all part of life. I guess it happened to me a little early. The earlier, the better.
Right.
With that whole experience in itself, I was banned for 2 years.
Wow.
So being a sports fanatic, I took football up.
Okay.
And started playing some more football. But at the end of the day, I never gave up the fact that I felt that I was reasonably okay. So I did my sentence, as you may say.
Yep.
I served my sentence, and apparently, but I was still very much aware where I wanted to be and what I wanted to get done. So it was a great experience in terms of learning for me to able to do things a little bit better in life. Right. I didn't do anything all that bad,
Yeah.
Apparently I was given out and I felt I wasn't.
You felt you wasn't, yeah.
And I stamped my feet a few times.
Right.
the crowd. They're the ones who were responsible.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of a sudden, some of the stands were on fire and stuff like that. So
wow.
It was, but the amazing thing about that, all the folks who came to support you then, after I was banned for 2 years, is crucify him.
Wow.
After that.
Yep.
We are tough.
Yep.
We are a tough environment to live in.
We are.
But
we are.
all that, in a sense, I was never ever being deterred with the fact of noise, because I always knew exactly what I wanted to achieve and how I'd like to achieve it. Yeah.
Well, I would say, for lack of a better word, you take the coal and you put pressure on that, and look at how you're a diamond.
Learn the hard way.
You learn the hard way. You really turned a situation that could have been damning for a lot of people who didn't have the passion and drive like you.
Yeah.
You just say, I was all right. That all right transpired to being a legend.
Believing in
Believing in
what
yourself.
You want to get done.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things you try and get young folks to understand. And anyone who wants to achieve in life, and you have a passion for what you really believe in, go get it.
But whether you want to believe it or not, your aggressive batting style has really, you know what I mean, it's inspired a whole generation of cricketers. And I'm sure not only the young ones, I'm sure the ones who even you went in and met.
But hey,
They
some of
were
the
behind
stuff
it.
that you see today, it happened yesterday.
Exactly.
Don't forget that. If you look back at some of the videos, you will see. Because it's all about entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what was your mindset when you stepped onto the field, especially against the world's best bowlers and stuff like that? You just got into it.
I can tell you, for the first time we went to India, that was a baptism in itself, because it was the most frightening thing that you can ever imagine. Here am I, this young kid from Antigua, 108 square miles, a population of around maybe 68,000 people.
Wow.
And here I'm in this little venue, playing to more people than where you live.
Where you live. Wow.
Intimidating.
Very.
And apparently, I can remember that first day, I wasn't in the best shape of mind, because we spoke a little earlier about learning. And I wasn't in the best shape of mind in order to accomplish what I want to accomplish that day. But as you say, you got to learn the hard way. It was a serious baptism in terms of the crowd, the firecrackers going everywhere. Real intimidating. At one point, I said to myself, Viv, what did you really
get yourself into?
Involved with? But as I said, you learn the hard way. You dust yourself off and you say, hey, you got to come again.
And it molds for a better individual, right?
It does.
Like I heard a speaker once said, understanding that a blade, the strongest blade, was forged in fire. And if you don't go through the fire, you're not going to be able to come out to be how you are.
So long as you're just wounded, right?
Yeah, as long as you must take the wound.
Yeah, so long as you're wounded. Yeah.
But let's tell the people, Viv, what inspired you to become a cricketer? I know your dad was an athlete. Your brother Mervyn, he dabbled in cricket and football. But what made you decide, you know what? Cricket is my thing, and I want to be a cricketer. Did you see it? Did you see people ahead of you do it and you thought, hey, I want to do this? Like, what made you get that passion?
Well, I was a good listener. In those days, we had a lot of radio commentary. We never had some of the stuff which we have today on telly. But seeing that and hearing some of the names, I can tell you that we had a lot of good players here before. But then hearing the individuals representing you abroad, the Wes Hall, there's a Wes Hall, there's a Gary Sobers, the Ron Canais, and all these were inspiring force, because as I said, that whole father figure, playing cricket at an early age, being inspired by him, there was that passion which just ran through my blood. At the end of the day, it was just marvelous to know that you have people who you look up to, people who you would like to be like.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that, I would like to be. Sometimes you tell folks, it's nice for you to be inspired by individuals, but sometimes try and find your own niche.
Hey.
It's not all the time you're going to be Usain Bolt, and you may like what he's doing, enjoy what he's doing, but at the end of the day, you may have something that you're missing. And the earlier you get into that, the better it is. The more practice you get, and the more you become more professional and become a Hussein Bolt.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, Viv Richards? I saw Viv Richards.
Well, I was waiting for you
Yes,
to say that.
But I was going to ask you that, like, how you're not there anymore. You're not that young boy who listening and hearing about Sir Garfield Sobers, and you're not there. You are now there. You are now in that group, that elite group.
I thank
People
you for
are
that.
looking
I
at
thank
you
for that.
now.
Thank you for that.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, this is
Looking
great
back
feeling.
at all the fire that you've been through, all the suspension that you could have said, I dust myself off, I don't want anything to do with it. Looking back at your trials, looking back at your journey, now you are there, iconic, legendary, at the pinnacle. How does that make you reside inside?
It's a great feeling. It is a great feeling, and I like to think of myself as being a people's person. I love people. I like to see people get their rights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like to see, and for us as people as well too, we've been through a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
We've been through a hell of a lot. So whenever I see opportunities for us, you try and encourage as best as you can. And these are the forces you try and, or the things you try and get through to these particular individuals, that we all here as one people, and playing those days and getting whatever the accolades after is not something that you really pray for.
Right.
But when we had our success, it was the most beautiful time that we would have had in the region, because all the islands benefited. Everyone benefited. And to me, it was the most powerful force that you could have gotten in terms of representation as a West Indian unit. We have in the Olympics guys for countries that are going on their own.
Yeah.
But the West Indies team I just felt did such a great job in helping to unite the region that I don't think they are. I'm just waiting again to see that force.
Yeah.
And these are some of my dreams.
But I don't even think that it has ever existed in any other format, or will ever exist in another format, because each Caribbean island has their own football team that represents their country.
Sure.
They have basketball teams, swimming, everything represents their own country. But West Indies cricket is a melting pot of all these different islands that come together, all the different traditions and cultures and everything come together. And as you said, a true representation of the Caribbean was in West Indies.
It is. It's just it was a great feeling. We felt that, and most times during our team meetings, and especially when I was captain as well, I'll try and enforce how important this is. Not for us guys, this is for the people who are listening, the people who have this passion for West Indies cricket, and for also the folks who are in London and wherever you may be, to big up yourself on that day. When we do well. And this was the sort of it did help in team talk and all that sort of stuff. It is about you guys, it's the people that we are representing.
But saying that, how did it feel? Viv, you're going to be captain next match. How did that feel? You, Viv, here, other captains, you emulate them, you look at them, and now they say, you going to be captain.
It was easy in a sense, because we had a blueprint on exactly what success was all about.
Right.
And when you have that, I only try and follow to represent. I think Clive Lowry did a magnificent job in terms of taking the team to where we at that time.
Right.
And it was my job not to drop the baton. I felt pretty good doing that, because coming from a small island like Antigua in itself, there are times folks look at you and sometimes think that you're the one who's going to drop the baton. But I think I was able to hand the baton back. Didn't make sure that, or made sure that my hands wasn't that slippery.
But was it intimidating for you? Did you feel a lot of pressure and strain? That, oh my gosh, it's up to me now.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of but I'm one of these players or captain who appreciate seeing, especially if you yourself haven't done well.
Right.
Seeing your players, your batters, I like to just sit back and enjoy seeing my players do well.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling about it. There's some captains who do not quite enjoy that, and those are the captains I do not quite like.
So in 1975 and 79, Cricket World Cup had to be like the most incredible moment for cricket, right? So share for us your most memorable moments. And I know you are Sir Viv, you had plenty moments. I was a little kid, but I cast up here in Viv, look, Viv. What are your memorable moments during that time?
In, say, 1975.
75 to 79.
Yeah, well, doing it for the region, to me, was more important than anything else, because I saw the folks who were living, folks, you know, who resided in England from the Caribbean. We saw their happiness, you know. I can remember, I used to live in the west of England, so rather than drive up to London, sometimes I'll take the train, and whenever I'll get to London, and I'm going to get my return ticket back, and this is telling you how well and how proud those guys were in England, the West Indies cricket team. You would have maybe one of our brothers or sisters behind the cashier desk. And wow, they look up and they will see you. Wow, Viv, no, you can't pay.
Yeah, you can't pay.
You know what I mean? So all that was just magnificent, you know. They used to bring us food to the ground.
Wow.
There's nowhere, especially when we went to the bus station as well too, the guys there who were working at the bus station were maybe our brothers as well too.
Yeah.
And it was just a great feeling. I can remember one time myself and Jeffrey Dujon, we were walking down Oxford Street trying to do some shopping that day. And this huge double-decker bus pulled up in the middle of traffic, Oxford Street, man. And all of a sudden, the Jamaican guy, you know, start telling the people on the bus, you know, who were English folks, you know, like, look at the guys in them that doing it to you all day, man. And, you know what I mean? And the traffic is going, the horns is going, and this guy doesn't give two hoots about who is blowing in the
Who is blowing or who's not,
He was just happy to see the guys who was doing it to the
Who was doing it to the English.
Right? Just amazing, man, amazing.
So on I can't really say it's a somber note, because you're such a high energetic and passionate person. In '84, when you had the eye surgery and the problems with your eye, how did you manage to adapt after that and adapt your game and stuff after that?
It wasn't mainly eye surgery as such. It was the fact that I had some pterygiums, and if you are anyone who living in the Caribbean, there's sometimes, especially with the times that we would spend out in the sunshine,
in the sun,
you would gain a little thing called pterygiums, and I was always pretty adamant about anyone going into my eyes. That's a special place.
That's a special place.
Special place. So I made sure that I had enough treatment and all the stuff that it takes in terms of solution while playing, and stop the eyes from watering on a regular basis. But no thanks. I haven't been there as yet.
Is it? Hopefully never. Because we need your vision. Not even your vision, but your vision as the legendary.
There's a little ball that I love hitting.
Yes, and you need your eyes.
Next ball, so,
you need your eyes for that.
That one is rather problematic at times to hit.
So you played some of the greatest ODI and Test innings of all time, right? And is there a particular innings or moment of your career that really stands out as your most favorite or most endearing?
I did. There's quite a few that I think that I played really well, but it's tough to really single out any particular one. Yeah. But the one that I really go for would be here in Antigua and Barbuda, because as a little boy, you never had enough money to get into the ground. You would try and stow away. You'd jump up into the trees and hope that one of the limbs would be broken.
You fall inside.
You fall inside, you know. A lot of that did happen. But I tell you this, scoring the fastest 100 at that time in Antigua, that to me was it. In front of your home crowd, you know, because we had doubters here, you know, people would tell you things like, hey, I haven't seen him play, you know, and I ain't gonna believe no hearing. You know, so accomplishing it that day in front of your home fans, man, that was pretty special. But as I said, there's a lot of other innings that you would have enjoyed. But for my hometown folks,
it felt personal. Like this was my gift to you.
That to me was very special.
That's amazing, man. You know, having witnessed the evolution of cricket, right, and how it has gone from you when you first started, and even in the mid of your career till now, what do you think of the changes that has transpired, and what do you think, you know, the scope of cricket going forward is going to really be?
I just appreciate seeing where cricket is at present. I know for sure that at one point, when I was growing up, my father used to say, "Hey, Viv, man, you ain't gonna take no cricket to make any career."
Wow.
You know, I guess if he was alive today, he would say, "Yeah," you know, because
that's my boy.
Yeah, there's quite a lot happening.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of T20 franchises around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which give individuals an opportunity. You don't have to be a test match player or a ODI player in order for you to make it. You can just make it just being a T20 player around the world.
Yeah, I realize that.
You know, so I think that's good in a big way, and I think that's a positive sign to me that the game keeps growing, and the more it grows, you know, I'm very happy. Seeing individuals do well, because at one point, parents never really wanted their kids to be involved with the game, but to see where it's at today, I think it's a magnificent profession now, and if you have it, flaunt it. You know?
Flaunt it,
yeah.
Flaunt it. So in your roles, and we know you do a lot of mentorship with the IPL and PSL leagues and stuff like that. What lessons from your experiences and stuff like that do you impart on while doing your mentorship?
I'm rather fortunate to get around the world, more so in India, the PSL, and wherever it is. Just recently I was in Texas. The best thing that you can do, the guys today, they're so fit. They're so much better in terms of the equipments that they have.
Yeah.
Or what you can pass on. It's your little knowledge in the game in itself. And you may think that you have a fair enough idea about the game, and you pass that on for them to have respect for the game.
Yep.
Anything that pays you and pays you well enough, have respect for it. Make sure that, especially when you're a young individual, that whenever you're in an environment that where you have some of the senior players, it's always nice to go and eavesdrop.
Yep.
You try and take the things in. That's pretty good on the ears, and if you can do that, you're in a good place. And make sure as well that the respect that you have for your profession, that your training, all that stuff plays a huge part. Discipline, your eating habits and stuff like that, because as you know now, you're earning good money.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you've got to take care of your body.
Yes, yes.
It's of vital importance. Yeah.
But you know, one thing, you know, I know I had to ask you, from where you came from, which I would term it traditional cricket, traditional athleticism, right?
Yep.
Now things have changed. Now a lot of stuff is digitized, and there are a lot of easy fixes and quick fixes to get to where you had to work very hard to go. And I feel like it has desensitized athletes and made athletes now are not like before. Like you would do it for passion, you would do it for that glory of your country and stuff like that. But I think like a lot of, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the younger athletes now are doing it for money, doing it for sponsorships and branding, and sometimes I feel like they're not giving it their all. You know what I mean? Like they're afraid to get hurt because then they might lose a contract. And back then, you didn't care about that. If you get hit, you get hit. You go out there and you give everything. You Viv, you know. But now I feel like they will shy away from the ball because they don't want to get hit. Because then the more they play is the more their contracts.
To be fair, man, it's going to disrupt your earning powers.
Yes, it's going to.
That happens, you know. So I guess but to be fair, I was pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
To be in an environment that with the foundation of the game in itself. And if you look at some of the best T20 players in the world, they had a foundation.
Yeah.
That foundation of Test match cricket. When you have that, you can do almost anything. And when I've been asked the question many times, how would you like to be involved with T20 cricket? I said, well, after I would have had whatever lessons from Test match cricket, T20 is for you to go and have some professional fun.
Yeah.
You know, go and enjoy, but yet still professional in a way, because you know there's a lot of things that you can get done.
Yeah.
You know, so it is pretty simple like that, you know. But I'm very, very happy for where the game is at in terms of even in America these days, they're trying to get it. Big time. So it's spreading in a big way, and I'm very fortunate in the sense that the game that I would have been involved with would have taken off. And I'm just hoping that the folks, you know, who are carrying that baton, make sure they do not carry it with any slippery hands.
Yes, but not only been involved in, have set the tone for, have been a very integral part in setting the tone for cricket. You know what I mean? There are plenty of your adversaries and stuff like that who, they still revel, I'm sure, and tell their people from England and South Africa and Australia still tell the new upcomers about Viv.
Well,
and
to
the time Viv
to be
Viv
fair,
hit
to
us
be
there.
fair, man, if I was to be paid for the amount of time that the name would be mentioned, I'll be doing okay. You know?
I would help you hold it back.
I'll be doing okay.
But so now we have to look. We had such a colorful, such a remarkable, and you can't even mention it, the past that you've had in cricket. And I guess now we have to look forward to Sir Viv in the PGA Tour, the Masters, and all these different things, right? Because now you're a golf connoisseur.
I love your confidence.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Because I'm looking at you and I'm feeling the passion, I'm feeling the energy. And I know if you even put half as much as you put into cricket, we will be hearing about Sir Viv.
Well, no, I ain't gonna go that far and tell you about no PJ or something. There's some guys locally here got to deal with first.
I'm sure
that's about it.
I'm sure they can deal with it.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you for one favor, Viv. Tell the young upcoming cricketers, young upcoming athletes, tell them what they need to really be, what you think that they should have within themselves or how they carry themselves to get the best out of themselves.
Well, you got to identify what you have early, and sometimes we show signs that early. Tiger Woods did show sign from early. His father took him to the golf course, and you have parents as well who are pretty vigilant about the things that they see their kids may be talented with, and it don't necessarily have to be a sport.
Yeah,
you can be academics or whatever the case may be. So long as you identify that, you learn as much as you can, and you put your all into that. Because the more you practice from early, the better you become. Sometimes you can close your eye, getting things done.
Yep. So that's it, kids. You know what I mean? Put your all into it. And we've learned.
Have respect.
Have respect for the game and for yourself.
First, and I've always believed in proper discipline.
Yeah.
When you are an individual who is disciplined, you on time and stuff like that, it does help. It does give you an opportunity for you to achieve further things.
And this is something we talk about all the time. Viewers,
discipline.
We talk about that.
I can tell you, maybe just share with you, maybe as captain, and especially when we're on our bus. Sometimes there may be a few individuals that going to be late. And everyone will get onto that bus. This is a very important match we are going to. And everyone may get on that bus. And while they're waiting, all of a sudden guys start looking at the watches because they're saying, and guys start becoming frustrated, irate.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it just changes the whole mood of that team. So these are some of the things I try and drill in. Be punctual. Don't keep anyone waiting, because you could change the whole psyche of that feeling that particular day.
Yep. And also, I guess, the psyche in yourself.
Yep.
Because as I always tell people, discipline, once you enter a sport, and there must be discipline in the sport.
Yes.
And once you could gather that discipline there, that discipline, if absorbed right, can take you on to your natural life, whether it's school, the way you relate to people, to family. Discipline is a very, very important thing.
It's no use to have a team that maybe one or two guys every time they're the ones always late, because for the rest of the teammates, they're going to turn on them.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get it backwards and forwards. So this is why.
And then the morale.
It changes the whole psyche. So it's of vital importance that you have individuals who are pretty much punctual. If it's 6, it's 6. Make sure that if you're after 6, that you have a proper excuse.
Yep. in the era of fast bowlers back in your days and stuff like that, what was I know there was a time you played without helmet. What was the motivation behind that? You know what I mean? And your decision, and how did it reflect on your confidence and your approach to the game?
I must have been a nutcase. Must have been a nutcase. When I look and see what's happening today, but I've always felt pretty confident in myself, and there were some things that was rather personal. When you're giving me your maroon cap, That's the greatest thing that can ever be bestowed, because of the passion that I had for the game. Give me a maroon cap, there's no way you're going to take that off me, you know. And I looked at it in a different way also, that you have different sports or other activities that's much more dangerous than what I was involved with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt I was involved in a sporting war. A sporting war, and at the end of the day, the only egos are the egos for the folks who lose.
Who lose, yep.
Okay?
Yep.
But that's the way I look at it. I never ever felt that, I saw a lot of Formula One racing, car racing and stuff like that. I've had the privilege of seeing that. And I've seen how dangerous that is. You know, the speed that these guys go. So I felt I was in a good place.
Yeah.
And someone above certainly was taking care of me.
Taking care. Well, he surely did take care of you. So what was also your mindset when you stepped out in the field against these, you know, these fast bowlers, these professional, these well-known fast bowlers, and here you are on this major stage now, and you have to face them? What was your mindset? What gave you that confidence and to deal with that?
But when you have confidence, I was always a confident kid, you know. Even though there's a little slyness or shyness about me, but when it comes to competing, then you can see it brings the best out of me.
It brings the best.
I believe, and especially down under in Australia, the more that you get, because most times you'd have guys coming at you verbally as well, and I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
That sort of is an inspiration for me, wanting to just shut you up as best as you can, you know. And that's the way I look at it. I've never ever fearful about that. I'm a competitor. I like competing. You know, I get out there and let's do it. Let's go. You know, you win some, you lose some.
You lose some.
You know.
Well, you have definitely. You sound like an athlete's athlete. Is what I'm going to say. You're an athlete's athlete. Because I think I'm a lot like that as well, where people always tell me I thrive in chaos. But it's not that. It's just that if you tell me I can't, that inspires me more to do it.
That's the
you
best.
don't ever tell me I can't, because I think I can do anything. You know what I mean? And you know, you're very inspiring.
Back yourself, man.
Back yourself. You are very, very inspiring. You know, human being. That's not gonna just limit you to cricket. You're very, very inspiring.
But I do a lot of that, you know, motivational stuff.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that. I've done a lot of stuff. Australia is huge for that, in terms of being into people's ears.
Yeah.
Because sometimes corporate folks want to find out how the sportsmen get it done. You know?
Yeah.
And I'll do it in front of 1,000 folks, and they want to know the sporting side of things, you know, because I believe as well that as a team person, everyone, you have your friends, your personal friends in the team, people who you appreciate a little bit more than some.
Yeah.
I don't get on all that well with that individual over there. But when you have a team, it is of crucial and vital importance that you try and make sure you treat everyone the same.
Yeah.
And that you yourself would do the same things that you will ask them to do.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Well, guys, to my father, my stepfather, and all my uncles, I am sitting with Viv Richards. You just called his name years ago. I have the privilege of sitting with Sir Viv Richards at this table. Thank you so much. It's been a remarkable experience, and I'm honored to be in your presence.
Thank you, man.
To get your tutelage,
Thank
to
you.
hear your words of
Thank
wisdom.
you, brother.
And you guys, Viv said it, you know. If Viv said it, you know it has to be true. Passion, determination, discipline. That's what you need. You need to follow who you are to become what you need to be. So, until the next episode of GN Sports Show, we'll see you.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. May your dreams come true. Together as one, through thick and thin. With love in our hearts, the season begins. The spirit of Christmas, the joy we share. On and off the field, you're always there. So here's a promise as the new year starts. We'll keep playing strong with all our hearts. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our family and friends. The season's joy that never ends. Generation Next, forever will be united in love and victory. Generation Next, we sing for you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. May your dreams come true. Together as one, through thick and thin. With love in our hearts, the season begins.